This is for the older men. If you're not an older man, then just keep scrolling. Now that the older men are here, you guys.
What I'd like you to do is apologize instead of being a bitch.
You're calling me sorry, but you're calling me a bitch. So set an example.
I'm sorry. My kids can't hear me calling you a bitch.
Your window's open.
They can't hear me because they're listening to
I'm hungry.
So lick that coat. You smell like
Grilled cheese.
What?
Grill me a cheese.
I'm not grilling you a cheese.
I mean, what can I say? The ass was sitting. It was sitting. I do understand why he was intrigued.
Yeah, I'm single. And you want to know why I'm single? Because I want to be. I don't want a man. I don't need a man to define me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Men are frustrating. Ladies, we love them, but we gotta admit they're frustrating at times. The white one hasn't found me yet. He's probably stuck in a tree somewhere, calling in the fire department with an army of turtles. Yeah, that's what he's doing. I'm single because I'm
pretty and smart, and I get along with everyone, even ugly girls.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Talk about it.
Oh, sorry. Here. White people should not use black emojis. It's fucking weird.
So you're a slut. You like give it up really easy. You're a fucking slut.
Lesbians should not cheat on their partner 3 different times with men. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch.
I'm sorry.
When she wrote, "God made me tall and a feminist," she's not just making a statement about her height. Tall isn't inherently a bad thing, it's just a preference that might limit her dating pool to men who are at least 6 feet or more. But then she adds the feminist tag, which is where the real trouble begins. Being a feminist often means she's bringing a hefty dose of ideological baggage into the relationship. It's not just about advocating for gender equality, it's about embodying a mindset that can turn into a massive headache and a potential liability for any man who dares to get involved. At least she's realistic enough to acknowledge that her options are limited. Tall and feminist might sound like a powerful combination on paper, but in practice it can mean navigating a minefield of expectations and potential conflicts. The tall part might be an attractive physical trait, but the feminist part can introduce a whole new set of challenges and complications.
If you date a woman 10 years younger than you, you're 40% more likely to get a divorce, and she's going to initiate. The younger partner is usually the one that initiates it. If you marry a woman who's not college educated, your likelihood of divorce also doubles. So if you guys are talking about statistics,
actually college-educated women are more likely to initiate divorce.
You have a selection bias there. So you're looking at the couples that are already getting divorced, and you're saying, oh, she's more initiated. No, you don't know stats.
No, you're just arguing to argue.
No, that's true. Can I explain?
And you've said a bunch of bullshit stats on the last show as well. A bunch of people fact-checked you and was like, this girl's
No, your audience also looks up my fake name and thinks I'm not a lawyer. I have my bar card in my purse. I'm trying to say that your selection bias, let me explain it to you. If you're looking at couples who are already getting divorced and you're saying who's more likely to initiate out of that crowd, that is not the same thing as looking at all married people in general, because you're only looking at the couples that are already getting divorced. College educated women are less likely to be in that group in the first place. Does that make sense to you?
It's clear that this feminist's stats are off base, and her understanding seems a bit skewed. She might be confusing trends like older men marrying younger women or trophy wives with the reality for women their own age who struggle to find quality relationships. When it comes to older women, the phrase "you can't teach an old dog new tricks" often rings true. They may have more rigid expectations and patterns, making it harder for them to adapt or compromise in a relationship. Younger women, on the other hand, tend to be more adaptable and open to conforming in a relationship. They're also more likely to show respect towards an older man, which can make for smoother dynamics in a partnership. This doesn't mean that all younger women fit this mold perfectly, but in general they might be more flexible and less set in their ways. As for college-educated, post-war women, it's often these individuals who find themselves single more frequently. They may have been educated into a mindset of self-sufficiency and career focus, but this doesn't always translate into successful romantic relationships. The college experience, while valuable, leaving these women struggling to find fulfilling relationships.
I've noticed that older women use that as a shaming tactic to men anytime they date a woman in their 20s. And the thing is this, ladies, it's biological.
Hey there, decrepit old hag over the age of 18 here. Gonna talk about how this is an absolute myth and that men are not biologically hardwired to prefer young women. When dudes say that wanting younger women is just in their DNA, what they're really saying is they want an excuse to be absolute creepers. They're also making an effort to hold on to the last vestiges of power that they have left because women are continuing to encroach on all of the spaces that they once dominated, and they are terrified to lose their unearned privilege and lose the little relevance that they have left. This myth has been perpetuated by evolutionary psychology, which is a widely criticized field because they don't do a good job of distinguishing between environmental and cultural explanations for things and adaptive evolutionary explanations for things. And they don't stand up to the rigorous standards of traditional evolutionary biology when it comes to providing causal evidence. There was this dude, David Buss, who in the late 80s did this study where he looked at men and women across 37 countries and observed that men typically go for younger women, women typically go for older men. And he hypothesized that it was because men were seeking women of peak fertility. But what's interesting is he didn't apply this same mode of thought for women because men also lose fertility as they age. Every year after the age of 20, they're becoming less fertile, and a 40-year-old dude will take at least 2 years to get a peak fertile woman pregnant. People that work in this field are often criticized for conflating what actually is with what they think ought to be. They observe a pattern and then they make it fit a narrative that they already believe. And this is why you'll often see evolutionary psychologists advocating against social change, and why Dr. Buss is often seen with Jordan Peterson chatting on the internet. The really interesting thing about those 37 countries that Buss studied is that if you look at them over time, you track mating strategies and the ages at which people are attracted to one another, and you compare that to the country's UN Gender Equality Index score. As gender equality rises, the age gap shrinks. That idea that men are naturally hardwired to go for younger women starts to disappear almost as quickly as Myron's hairline. So when those traditional gender roles are stripped away, people are getting together closer in age because they have more in common, right? They're at similar life stages, and there are other things influencing what makes a good partnership. So when shitty dudes are talking about youth being the #1 thing they look for in a woman, what they're doing is try to devalue women's accomplishments because we're working on outpacing them in every category and they are scared. So they're going to tell you your career doesn't matter, your education doesn't matter, your ambition doesn't matter, your wealth doesn't matter. And what's more important is that you're young and submissive. And what better way for them to try and sell this but by telling you that it's just a matter of biology and it can't be changed. They want to scare women and make them think that if they're over the age of 25, like all male attention will simply vanish. Unfortunately for them, the majority of women are waking up to the fact that life is a lot better without problematic men. And so many women are realizing that y'all simply aren't worth the trouble. And the data supports this. Single, childless women are the happiest in society. They are happier being without men that treat them like dogs or are looking for replacement mommies. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the fact that many of these men also suffer from crippling self-esteem issues. And the only way that they can feel more like a man and more like they have something of value is if they are controlling, manipulating, and abusing someone else. And often, that's women.
Absolutely, the biological basis for men being attracted to younger women is rooted in evolutionary biology. Younger women are often at their physical prime, which makes them more appealing to men who are hardwired to seek out traits that signify optimal fertility and health. In their prime, women are not only in peak physical condition but also have the highest number of eggs, which increases the chances of healthy pregnancies and reduces the risk of complications. On the flip side, pregnancies in women over 35, especially over 40, are classified as geriatric, due to the increased risks of health problems for both the mother and the baby. This is a well-documented phenomenon, and modern medical advancements like C-sections and fertility treatments have helped mitigate some of these risks, but they can't completely overcome the natural decline in fertility associated with age. Men's fertility does decline with age, but this process is much slower compared to women. While men's sperm count and quality can diminish with age, particularly due to environmental toxins and lifestyle factors, men can and do father children well into their 60s and beyond. Historically, many prominent figures, including kings, have fathered children later in life, illustrating that men's fertility is not as time-sensitive as women's. The myth of peak male fertility tends to be based on studies that often focus on older men trying to conceive with older women, creating a bias. In reality, when comparing younger men with younger women, the fertility of both is at its peak, and it's evident that younger women are generally more fertile than their older counterparts. So, while older men may face a decline in fertility, it's not as pronounced or as limiting as it is for women.
Alright. This whole dating thing, you know, I am 53. Just because I'm 53 doesn't mean that I'm old and put on a shelf. I can run with the best of the 30-year-olds still. It's just a number, people. I don't feel like I'm 53 because I'm still young. I don't have kids. Never been married. You know, all these, I don't do dating sites, okay? I just don't do it. Did it years ago, a long, long time ago. I don't do it. I don't have kids because of other things. I never been married because it's never happened. My career has always been there. People don't give people a chance anymore. It's like, you know, I own my own place, I own my own car, I pay my own bills. Oops. It's like, is there any real people out there anymore? I mean, I get sent so much bullshit. And I'm like, it's like within 2 seconds you can tell somebody's BSing you. I've been around the block a little bit. I'm not gonna be somebody's sugar's mama, so don't think it's gonna happen because it's not. I still believe in somebody opening my door for me, somebody being the man, but yet I'm still an independent woman. Damn. It's like, is there any real people out there anymore? It's like, geez, come on.
Oh boy, where do we even start with this one? The notion that age is just a number gets hilariously debunked when reality takes the stage. It's like she's living in a fantasy where the clock stands still, but guess what? Men don't need a time machine to see the truth. They've got eyes, and they're not buying what she's selling. The harsh reality is that she might be in denial about her place in the dating market. It's not about how she feels, it's about how she's perceived. And if she looks like she's wearing her grandpa's wig and her teeth could use a serious makeover, that's a red flag waving in the face of any potential suitor. Let's be honest, no amount of self-delusion can change the fact that she's past her prime. At 30, hitting the wall feels like a gentle tap. At 40, it's more of a wallop. By 50, it's less of a wall and more of a cliff dive with a 50-ton truck on top. No man of real value is lining up to start a family at that stage. It's not about being ageist, it's about biological realities and social perceptions. The sad part? She didn't have kids when she had the chance. Maybe no high-value man saw a future with her back in her prime, and now she's facing the consequences of that choice. It's not just about her biological clock ticking, it's about her life choices catching up with her. So what's the grand plan here? Keep trying to live like she's still in her 20s while the reality of her situation becomes more apparent. Retirement might not just be a suggestion, it could be a necessity. A nursing home could be looking better than another attempt at dating, considering the circumstances.
Ladies, it's about that time to stop being insecure and start being a fucking problem. Especially if you're a moderately attractive woman and you're in your 20s, cut the shit. I know that your brain is telling you that you're fat and you're ugly and he doesn't want you, and you're internalizing everyone's body language and you're hyper fixated on how you might be perceived by other people and what your outfit looks like to X, Y, and Z, or what the fuck ever. I'm telling you, as a woman who is now 33 years old, the level of cringe I have for like how I treated myself in my fucking head when I was literally so fucking hot in my 20s in New York, thinking that I was fat, messing around with fuckboys. It's like tragic. And now that I know the true power a woman holds in this world, it is my mission to spread that good word and dispel this like true pandemic of low self-esteem that has plagued women. It's just complete bullshit. Seriously, if you fall into this category, I don't care what fucking approach you need to take, if it's hypnosis, if it's affirmations, if it's talking to yourself in the fucking mirror until you believe it every single day and every single night, but nip that shit in the bud because you're literally at the apex, okay? If you are powerful beyond measure, there is absolutely no reason to be beating yourself up or to not be like that bitch every single day. Like, oh my God, this dress makes me look a little fat. You can see my pooch. Shut up. Shut up. Nobody notices. Posting content. Oh my God, I'm so sorry for my stained bag and my mess. Shut up. Nobody even noticed. No one gives a shit. You're hot. Just accept that you're hot, accept your power, and use it.
Aiming to be an effing problem is a one-way ticket to singlehood in the feminist West, where the reality is hitting hard. Most men are finding that the juice isn't worth the squeeze when it comes to modern women who seem more interested in building their feminist empires than actually being partners in a relationship. The sobering truth? A lot of women in America are overweight, and the self-confidence they flaunt often masks a lack of real relationship value. The irony is palpable. Despite claiming to be hot, she's still single in her 30s. That's not a coincidence, it's a glaring red flag. If she was so irresistible, why is she still flying solo? The truth is, men she was involved with probably didn't see her as relationship material. They were looking for more than just a fleeting attraction. Her video, which preaches about being a problem and flaunting feminist ideals, does nothing to address how to actually build a successful relationship. There's zero advice on how to be a supportive partner, maintain a healthy home, or even cook a decent meal. Instead, it's all about this fake empowerment narrative like they're gearing up for a battle rather than focusing on what really matters in a relationship. Modern women are often caught in this delusional mindset where they prioritize personal empowerment over practical relationship skills. It's like they're preparing to conquer new territories rather than finding genuine connection and maintaining a loving partnership. It's clear that many are missing the mark on what truly keeps a relationship thriving and are instead doubling down on self-promotion and empty empowerment slogans.
Does any other woman who dates and deals with men wake up on a Sunday morning and be like, oh fuck, I'm the problem? Because that's me today. I realized that I am the issue. I called a guy at 2 in the morning last night, told him to come over. Okay, all right. He's a roster member. I call him Little Chico, and I do in fact call him that to his face. What are you gonna do? Anyways, all right, Nicole. And he said when he was leaving, looking forward to the next 2 a.m. call. And I go, oh fuck. Oh. Wow. And last night I also gave my number to a bartender on my receipt. And he texted me, hey, how you doing? What's up? Okay. Nicole, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I'm like, as a girl who complains about fuckboys a lot, I'm like, I think I'm the issue. I'm the fuck girl. Oh my God. So I guess next steps are, do I do something about it? I just don't really have time right now. Like, I'm a little stressed, and that's fine, but I just don't really have time to date. I don't know. So that's why I'm like, do I just keep fucking around and just doing this shit? I don't know. Also, last night was a night where I was like, oh, I'm not going out. Obviously, I ended up out. So yeah, I realize I'm the problem, and probably gonna keep going. Love these strips. All right, bye.
Answering her question directly, no, it might be too late for her. Think of the carousel of dating as a black hole. The more men a woman sleeps with, the closer she gets to that gravitational pull, and eventually she gets sucked in. This is the harsh reality of the modern dating scene. Once she's deeply entangled in this cycle, it becomes increasingly difficult for her to break free. Her lifestyle of focusing on college and career has left her with little time or energy for a genuine, monogamous relationship. She's caught up in the whirlwind of casual encounters and short-term satisfaction, which undermines her ability to form lasting, meaningful connections. Her admission in the description about realizing she might be an F-girl is telling. The term F-girl or player is often misused. It doesn't take skill or strategy for a woman to find men willing to hook up with her if she's average-looking. She can attract attention from a wide range of guys. The real issue is that she's caught in a cycle where casual sex has become her norm, leaving her with fewer options for genuine relationships. Her narrative only highlights the broader issue. The modern woman's approach to dating and relationships often leads to disillusionment and loneliness, especially when they prioritize temporary thrills over long-term connection and commitment.